Hello and welcome to today's news on Vanguard Live. My name is Damlola Ogun Shak and I'm starting with Vanguard on the paper review. Vanguard is leading with APC NEC meeting. Buhari, Osinbajo, Amaechi absent as Tinubu's aggrieved members. Approves the reconciliation committee relocation of Buhari's house. Party applies for land for FCTA. Inherited outstanding legal liabilities of over 8.9 billion naira. That's according to Ganduje. NEC overrules North Central Zone's national chairmanship slot to Northwest. Respect your status, you are just one person. APC fires El-Rufai. Explains absence of Buhari and others. You can see that story on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper. On page 8, Trump floats $5 million gold card as route to United States citizenship. Nasima OPS to National Assembly removes sections of tax bill that impose taxes on FTZ. On sport, 2026 World Cup. Bafana coach wary of Super Eagles says groups still open. On page 10, George dismisses recusal request in Emefiele's trial. We have restored normalcy in Northeast, as according to Army. Above the banner on page 19, Dangote slashes petrol price by 65 naira to 825 naira per litre. Scores fear dead as Boko Haram attacks Adamawa communities. My life in danger. NAFDAC Director General cries out. Lastly, on Vanguard newspaper, Tinubu's Muslim government has brought massive suffering, as according to Sharia Council. You can see that on page 8. Now, the Guardian is leading with second term amid roll. APC NEC passes vote of confidence in Tinubu and Ganduje. You can see that on page 6. And still on page 6, we have NAFDAC boss raises alarm over threat after a historic 1 trillion naira illicit drugs seizure. FCCPC tackles rising cost of drugs, begins inquiry. Again, police alert to Lumi violent protest in Kano. Importers warn of possible port disruption as new MPA tariff begins March 1. Olukoyede, organized foreign fraudsters establishing cells in Nigeria. Directly below the banner, we have Dangote slashes PMS price by 65 naira. Ipman warns of marketers' loss. Tax reform, Kano warns against breach of federal character and Muslims' rights. That can be seen on page 3. And the Punch leading story says election cases. APC account sees them over 8.9 billion naira debt, says Ganduje. Party incurs legal fees, others from presidential, governorship, legislative election cases. That can be seen on page 2. On page 60, we have immigration arrest, 378 illegal immigrants in Ogun. Pro Obasa Clark barred from assembly threatens a contempt suit. Above the banner, we have consensus forex reserves drops $2.3 billion amid naira gains. Niger orders exit from ECOWAS affecting counter-insurgency war. That's according to Air Chief. That can be seen on page 60. And lastly, the Punch newspaper. We have importers fed as Dangote lowers petrol price again. Now the nation. The nation is leading with confident vote, a challenge to do more. Tinubu pledges. APC NEC endorses the president policy. I inherited 8.9 billion naira debt, says Ganduje. Fashoranti remains a Fenifere leader. Tax reform shouldn't subsume customs. CG Adeniyi cautions. Abbas Faleke back bills. Marketers to get Dangote petrol at 825 naira per litre in price slash. 376 illegal immigrants arrested in Ogun. And lastly, on the nation, we have FCCPC begins actions on high cost of diabetes and BP medication. You can see that on page 7 of the Nation newspaper. And that's all we have on the front pages. Join us after the break for a brief analysis of some of the stories with our guests. Welcome back. If you're just joining me, this is today the news on Vanguard Life. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki. Joining me to analyze some of the stories on the front pages is Mr. Oludari Maiwa, as a publisher of Global Financial Digest. Good morning, Mr. Maiwa.
Good morning, Damlola. Glad to be here today.
Good morning. Now, let's talk about APC's NEC meeting, their long-awaited National Executive Committee meeting yesterday. many top leaders of the APC, they were absent at the meeting as President Bola Tinubu appealed to aggrieved elements in the party, urged them to be calm, and promised not to let them down. And this is the first since President Tinubu assumed office on May 2023. And there's a lot currently going on in the party now with former governor of Kaduna State and that of Rivers, who were also ex-minister of transportation, are some of those who have openly expressed, umbrage at the state of affairs in the party. What do you think about what is going on in APC and the fact that some of the top members were absent at the NEC meeting?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, let me address the issue of absence of President Buhari, Osinbajo, Amaechi, and the rest from the N5 from the NEC meeting of APC. First of all, you have to understand a ruling party. That is why the money is. That's why the loot is. That's why the peck of office, to share is. So that there's going to be a lot of crises. Because some people are going to feel like they are left behind, they are not accommodated, they are work with the party, they are not accommodated, and they are not compensated. So those are the fruits of we are seeing happening in APC. And secondly, Buhari, I'm not surprised that Buhari was not there. When Buhari was leaving, he actually told them that the group is far away from Abuja, staying in Katsina, and probably not trying to interfere or to overshadow the president. And don't forget too that there are being it's also a situation that this present government inherited bad economy from Buhari. So you don't want such person to be in the midst of where the other person is the main character. Secondly, we are told that probably Vice President Osinbajo was not in town with South Africa. But we don't probably expect Osinbajo to actually be involved. They have been probably distant himself practically from the APC since this present administration. Equally, Amaechi, those people are probably out of APC technically. So you don't expect them to be at that kind of a party. And looking at the crisis in the APC, like I said earlier, APC is a ruling party, controlling federal government, and have a lot of appointments to make, peck of office to share among its members. And there are some critical members that will feel probably they are left behind. They want to push themselves to force fund to access some of those offices and paying for the peck of the office, which probably they are sidelined. So that will lead to crisis. And don't forget that too, in some states, they are struggling for power. People know that APC is a real party. They are telling us that if you are at the ticket of APC, you are likely to win an election, but either by cook or cook in some of those locations. So that could create a lot of crisis, a lot of competition within the party. So it's not unlikely, it's not unusual. You see those crises swing up in the ruling party. And we have explained that during the PDP time in power as well. So for me, it's not unusual for people to go through crisis. I'm sure they will be able to manage their crisis by compensation, by allocating some useful position for some people to pacify them. So that's where I look at it today.
All right. The national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Ganduje, said he inherited debt and legal liabilities to the tune of over 8 billion naira from cases ranging from legal engagement during the pre-election matters, election cases, and appeals for legislative, governorship, and presidential elections. What's your take on what he said?
It's unfortunate that a political party said he inherited 8 billion debt. Debt for what? What are they selling? What are they buying? You know, kind of thing is that's one of the things that make the politics very expensive in this part of the world. Yes, in some other countries, candidates raise money from their friends to fund their election, and they use those money to actually do a lot of things. But here, they put them likely on the patronage of the government, or their governors, or the president, of all their members to raise money for the political party here. And those who are elected or who are appointed to run the political party too, they are seen as their own part of the loot as well. So that's why it's so unfortunate that what are they investing, what are they buying that they spend so much? I mean, where do they borrow the money from? Where do they get the money to borrow? Who borrow them the money? So it's and there's no transparency in the running of our political party in Nigeria, no accountability. I've not seen any political party financial report for the year, even though they are supposed to do that and submit to NEC, to INEC. I've not come across all the balance sheets in the since the last 20-something years of democracy in Nigeria. So we Nigeria need to look closely to political party, how they are run, how they are spending their money, where the source of their income and the rest. So that you may have because that's what leads to crisis where some people are hijacking the political power and the rest because of if there's a lot of money around those places, people will struggle to get to office so that they can partake in some of those money running around that place. So we need to really encourage transparency in our political party administration in this country.
All right, but let's talk about El-Rufai. I'm sure you've seen some of El-Rufai's talks about the party now, and also so many people have responded to him, with some saying that he's pained because he was not appointed as a minister. And Moka yesterday also said El-Rufai should respect his status as a former minister and former governor. He saying if he continue to engage, people had a right to also reply. What do you think about El-Rufai's claims about the APC and also the people's response to him?
El-Rufai case is a case of politics. That's a game of politics play. Many people believe that everybody was tactically hedged out of the APC, out of government, that he helped to come to power. It was very probably obvious because there was a point before that the president, the then candidate of the party, who won the election, then has told he wants El-Rufai to join his government. I will not step down from the podium until he might join him. And we have seen drama that play out at the National Assembly and the rest. I'm sure everybody is hot for the way he was treated. And for insider, we know that he was deliberately pushed out of that party. And when you look at the story of El-Rufai too, I'm sure the people around the president, they don't trust him. You see what Obasanjo wrote about him in his book. You see how he dealt with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and his role in Kaduna when he was governor of Kaduna. It shows that he's a very divisive person who cannot be trusted. Look at how he was one that started this Muslim ticket issue, where in the second time where he imposed a deputy who was a Muslim like him, and told the Southern Kaduna that he can go to hell, that even if you put a Christian a bishop there, they will not vote for him. And the killing in the Southern Kaduna then, and as the governor probably was like helpless, no attempt to it. And the likewise is so people when you profile El-Rufai along that line, nobody wants to trust him to draw him near, in such a way, because it looks like a very, very dangerous person to draw around. He's very arrogant, and he portrays a person who probably had a mind of his own, but he's very, he's very technically very divisive in nature, in politics, and goes to where he felt so comfortable to benefit from. That's my own assessment of the man. So for me, people around the president probably may have read over him and say, hey, this man, we need to destroy him so that he will not have any privilege to contend with the president come 2027. I'm sure that's what they're doing, and that's why I remember I make a reference to his when he was making SICC outposts. Like, why are you willing? You are part of the people that got to where we are today. So why are you willing around? So it's fun to see that side of the politics. And for me, I don't sympathize with him really. That's game of politics. And those who are politicians know how to play the game. But probably APC or the main party or the president realize that El-Rufai is an asset to them. Probably they will find a way of drawing near to themselves. And probably have used him and probably dump him. And good luck to him, really.
Let's talk about Dangote petrol. And for the second time in February, Dangote Petroleum Refinery has reduced the depot price of premium motor spirit petrol, cutting it from 890 naira to 25 naira per litre. And this 65 naira per litre reduction follows an earlier 16 naira per litre decrease on February 1. So just this month, they made a total of 125 naira per liter, and that's within 26 days. And now marketers are worried about losses due to this reduction. What do you think about this?
No, if you look at critically at the petroleum industry and you look at the oil industry, the price of crude has been going down in recent time because of concerns about supply, increased supply. Don't forget that the President Trump has insisted that he's not following the footsteps of his predecessor. He's trying to wrap up production of crude oil across in Shell in US, and has been calling Iraq and other parts of oil to increase production. So when you see pumping more into the market against the will of OPEC to moderate the output, then the price will crash. So if price is coming down in crude oil, ultimately when it transfer to the end users of fuel by refiners really. So what Dangote refinery is doing is not unusual. It's a response to reduction, decline in price of crude oil in the global markets, so to say. For those who are importing, for me, I'm still very concerned why we continue to import fuel into this country when NPC have told us that they have local refineries on stream, Warri refinery on stream, and they're going to told us that he can satisfy the local demand from his refinery. So why do we want to import? Why do you want to again spend money to bring low quality product to the country? So for me, so it's for me, government need to be very transparent in this country because they need to be open up and be accountable. What is really happening in the system? When somebody says we have enough to spread local money, we have an APC producing from Port Harcourt as he told us and Buhari as he told us, you know, kind of thing. So why should we not begin to import, so to say? So for me, there's still more to be. There's still more the need for transparency in that sector of the economy. Well, I'm bold to say that what Dangote is doing is not unusual. It's a response to the declining global oil price, and we want him to do more. We are coming from 185 naira to a liter, so 800 something is still very high for average Nigeria. So they need to do more to bring the price down so that they can reduce the pressure, the cost of living in the country. That's where I look at it really.
All right, let's move away from that. And recently, NAFDAC talked about the large scale enforcement operation that they did that across the three major open drugs markets in Onitsha, Aba, and Lagos. The Director General of NAFDAC described the seizure as the biggest in NAFDAC history, adding that the value of illicit and fake drugs was estimated at 1 trillion naira. But she also raised concerns over threats to her life and staff, urging the authorities to protect operatives facing daily risks while calling for death penalty for counterfeit and illicit drug peddlers. And this is not the first time that drug cartels are going after NAFDAC Director General, because during the time of Professor Dora Akunyili, she was also haunted due to her relentless effort to combat counterfeit drugs in Nigeria. That was during her tenure from 2001 to 2009. What do you think about this and the fact that she's also calling for death penalty on the people going against the laws of the country?
Well, you can't do that kind of job and don't expect a threat to life. It's the multi-trillion naira business. It's the counterfeit drugs and narcotic drugs are in the same categories, and people who are engaging are desperate because there's a lot of money they are invested in, a lot of money they are making from it. So definitely they will pose threat to the people who are trying to counter their merchandise and the rest. So it's no surprise. What government need to know, government to recognize that if we appoint somebody and want that person to be efficient and effective in curbing this malice of counterfeit drug, then you need to protect them. You need to protect them all around the clock so that they can be able to do their work efficiently without fear and or restriction of any kind. And don't forget, counterfeiting drug is a dangerous transaction, it's a dangerous trade. People are buying drugs for healing, and you are counterfeiting this drug. That means you are compounding the problem of the nation health system. You don't know the drug you are using, that the drug healing the person is complicating the issue. So it's, for me, those who deserve death sentence, because they are killing people. You are indirectly killing people who are selling those drugs to, who are using it in order to be healed, and they are blocking. I remember a story told years back, during the Abacha regime, late Osinbajo was the minister. I forgot the minister he was then, and he was talking to us in CBN then, as a reporter, when they are doing foreign exchange allocation to manufacturer and drugs and rest. He told us a personal experience when he had IPP, and he's supposed to travel abroad for NAFDAC shake-up because he couldn't travel because of the demand of the office there. And he bought the drug from a reputable country in this country to use. And his case was getting worse. So he told us that he had to approach the head of state to go abroad for the meeting doctor. And he also asked to bring the drug he bought. And they subjected to laboratory tests in UK. And he thought it was powder that was in that capsule he was using. And the doctor told him that those powder were blocking his blood vein. That if he has stayed long, he would have died. So there are many people who don't have access to foreign medical attention, who have bought drugs from these fake counterfeiters, and they died. They are killed by fake. So those people who are behind the trade deserve death penalty when they are tried. They should. I think the National Assembly should review the law that prescribe penalty for those who involved in trade. So we need to have a very strong law, strong people who can look at this and reduce this thing. And this is are important to this country through our ports. What are the customs doing? What are the agencies of government that are checking our NSO? What are they doing in the ports? So we need to actually wage a critical war against counterfeiting, because it's a danger the lives of average Nigeria. I'm in support of NAFDAC calling for a penalty for those who are trading those illegal medicine.
All right, let's send this on a lighter note with Mr. and Mrs. this morning. And the first person speaking this morning says, I don't think we can afford your favorite fruit anymore. 3 apples now cost 6,000 naira. And Mr. replied, the episode in the Garden of Eden should have discouraged men from eating apples, but men are serious sinners. Now, God is warning us by making it expensive.
Because the wise man respond to the wise. Want to push him to a delicate temptation, and try to actually use the word to wrangle himself out of the whole thing. It's an expensive joke that he has an expensive joke to counter to escape the upset for him.
Really. But the funny thing about Nigeria is, whether jokes or not, when things are getting difficult, even with the way the inflation keeps going, people still try to laugh with the things.
Yeah, that's the strength of Nigeria. If you on X and other social media platforms, you see the power of word. Nigeria, the way Nigeria use words, they are amazed. Kind of thing. Time of joke about everything. I don't want to keep us going. Because the trouble in this country is too heavy. It's why enormous that will keep people, if you are not entertaining yourself just to take your mind off the trouble of the country. And that's our strength as in Nigeria, and very good for us. In other countries, what we are facing today, people have been committing suicide and giving up about life. But thank God for the natural way we dilute the whole thing, we jokes, with all manner of things, and entertain ourselves ongoing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayowa, for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much for having me today, and have a lovely day.
And you too. And this is where we have to draw the curtain. Do what to like and follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can also visit our website, www.vanguardnj.com.